marking here. Here's a quick story from Breitbart. It's by Chris Tomlinson, and it says Sweden paves way for potential lockdown as deaths approach 500 and unemployment soars. So Sweden got started late on this because they have a feminist government. You know, they just I don't know. Sweden should have closed their borders immediately. They should have looked to the rest of the world and see what was going on, but instead they decided to play and push identity politics instead of making the quickest decision possible. And here we are. Okay, Sweden, which has some of the lightest anti-virus restrictions in Europe, is paving way for new laws that could lead to nationwide lockdown as the number of deaths approaches 500. Authorities announced on Monday Sweden, which had a population of 10.2 million and has pursued a light touch approach to lockdown so far, has 7,206 confirmed cases and 477 deaths. As a result, the government is increasing its own power to potentially lock down the country later this month. Later this month. This should have been done last month. This should have been almost done immediately. Again, when you have a feminist government, right, they tend not to make decisions as quick or as decisive as men. You know, they tend to chat and debate and then think about feelings first. This is exactly what has happened to Sweden. Sweden was one of this. Again, I keep saying Sweden was once a beautiful, harmonious country before the past 20 years or even 10 years of immigration has completely destroyed its national identity. And the answer to a lot of these Swedish citizens elect a feminist government. You know, feminists have brought nothing good to the world. Zero, nada. You know, and now Sweden is going to be a disaster. Watch for Sweden to be absolutely decimated in Europe. Absolutely decimated. Right? They won't buck the trend. You know, they'll be even more devastated by the trend because they took so long to act. Granted, they only have 10.2 million people, which is, yeah, they're probably a little bit more spread out. I should take that back. They're probably a little bit more spread out. But because it took so long, they'll be absolutely devastated. They should have done a better job. Absolutely should have done a better job. And they didn't. They failed. You know. Anyway, let's continue. Social Minister Lena Helgerin of course, the Social Democrats stated that their current legislation under Infection Protection Act does not give governments sufficient power to lock down measures. And already in places like France and the UK, you should have done this already. You took too long to react. In comparison to the United Kingdom or Germany, where public gatherings of more than two people are banned, in Sweden groups of 50 are allowed to congregate presently. 50. How do you allow such things? How do you do that? So instead of two people spreading it, it'll be 50 people spreading it. 2 to 4, 4 to 8, it'll be 50 to 100, 100 to 200 to 400. And it's just mind-boggling. Like, again, you have to vote these guys out. This is terrible. But they won't. They'll probably elect the same people because that's what you see. People don't really learn lessons. It takes a very long time for people to actually learn a lesson from a certain ideology. Okay, you learn your lessons, you implement, and you make sure you teach it to your kids. You know, make sure you teach it to society. The proposal in its current form would allow the government to act without the need for consulting Parliament, a measure that the center-right Christian Democrats KD opposed. The KD leader Ebba Busch, though, stating that Parliament oversight was needed. This should have been done already, you know. The KD wants government to have the tools needed, but Parliament must always get the last word. Populist Sweden Democrat leader Jimmy Eckelson expressed a similar opinion, saying, "We are thus prepared to reject the government's proposal if it's adjusted in accordance with our requirements." Sweden's Council of Legislation, a government agency of current or former senior judges that acts as a watchdog on legality of proposed legislation, was also skeptical of the new laws. All these things should have been taken care of last month, early last month, and they didn't. They absolutely didn't. Sweden is a failed society at this point. It's going to be devastated, absolutely devastated. Anyway, so far the legislation does not have majority support despite several amendments to the original text. While Sweden has allowed many businesses to remain open, including restaurant and shopping centers, the economy is seeing significant effects from the outbreak. On Monday, the public service chief analyst Annika Sundin stated that since March 1st, 500 people who were notified they would be losing jobs. 50,000, sorry. A level dwarfing of 2008 financial crisis. I mean, Sweden's gonna be devastated because it took too long to react. This happens when you have a government that's more interested in ideology than taking care of its own citizens. This is why the rejection of globalism is happening and will happen, and this you're gonna see a complete collapse of it, and rightfully so. And this is just whatever. Sweden is Sweden. They're gonna do what Sweden does, and it just angers me that Sweden used to be like this beautiful place. You can see pictures, images, and videos back in the '70s how wonderful it was. Just take a look at Sweden movies, movie that came out of Sweden in that era. You see how beautiful the culture was. It's that's it. It's maybe this is sadly a silver lining, but maybe this is the only way to get back your culture. Who knows? Who knows what the outcome will be? But anyway, Sweden took too long to react. Alright, guys, take care, share, save, subscribe. Thumbs up. Hope you liked. Hope you enjoyed. As always, I'll put the link in the description. Take care. Bye.